This is Fox 23 News in Focus.
With the economy the way it's been, it would seem to be harder for kids looking to go to college. With grants, financial aid, and other student loans out there but coming from fewer sources, how are kids making out and being able to help find money to pay for their education? Good morning and welcome to Fox 23 in Focus. I'm Walt McClure. Today we're talking about how college-bound students are finding the search for higher education cash, and we're talking to a couple of folks with intimate knowledge who can help. First, we have Elsa Magee, who is the Executive Vice President and Acting President of HESC, that's New York's Higher Education Services Corporation, and Mary Lawyer, who is the Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management at Siena College in Loudonville. Does that fit on a business card? Because that's
Barely.
really long. Thank you both for being here. First, Elsa, let's start with you. Talk a little bit about what HESC is and how you can help kids in New York get their start getting ready to go to college.
Sure. HESC is the state student financial aid agency. Again, as you said, we are the Higher Education Services Corporation. We administer the New York State's Tuition Assistance Program, commonly known as TAP, as well as 24 other scholarship programs. We provide assistance to high school guidance counselors. We administer grants for at-risk students to ensure that they complete high school and continue on to college. And we also are the designated guarantor with the Federal Family Education Loan Program for students federal financial aid in New York State.
All right, and obviously part of the reason you're here is because this month we're in Financial Aid Awareness Month, and you guys are sort of trying to get the word out to people about what's out there and what they need to do. So
yeah,
what's out there, what do people need to do?
Well, that's correct. January 25th through February 25th has been designated by Governor Patterson as New York State Student Financial Aid Awareness Month. Just so that viewers are aware, HESC administers over $4.6 billion in grants, loans, scholarships, and other awards to over 650,000 students attending college in New York State. So there is aid available.
And that's for public schools and private schools,
for both
correct?
Public and private schools. Roughly $800 million of that is tuition assistance awards to students who are residents of New York State, attending college in New York State, where they can get awards of up to $5,000. Students dependent students generally with household incomes of $80,000 net taxable income or less are eligible for the TAP awards.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mary, obviously you're kind of on the front lines. I mean, you both are, but you're dealing with the kids once they're at the school or when they're looking at wanting to go to Siena, trying to figure out where am I going to get the money to pay for it. Explain it, I guess, from your part of the role. What's your role in this whole thing?
Well, I think part of our role is first to make people aware that there is financial aid available and that there are ways to apply and engage in the process early on. So now, that's why January 25th to February 25th is a critical time for filing for financial aid and getting the applications in. And once they do that, the colleges and universities will really begin to explore federal financial aid eligibility, of which there are numerous grant and loan programs, state within the New York State program, as well as their own institutional grants and scholarships, and then put together a financial aid package that hopefully makes the college within reach and manageable for the families.
And you're doing once a kid says, I'm going to Siena, then that's where you would start. You're not doing this for every person who's applying to give them an idea, or are you?
Oh, absolutely, we're doing it for every student that's applying, because the families really, before they choose, need to make an informed financial decision. Finances are a big part of the decision for many families, and they need to have all the information up front. So we get them that information before May 1st, usually in April, early April, so they can look at that before they actually have to choose their college. And this, of course, is for new students. For our returning students, we work with them throughout the summer.
Now, this is for either one of you. When we say financial aid, there's a lot of different things. I mean, you're talking about grants and things, which are things that you can, and tuition assistance plans that you are getting this money and it doesn't have to be paid back.
Right.
But financial aid would also include any loans type of situation, right?
Yes. We encourage people to apply for the free aid and accept the free aid first before they look towards the loans. And then if they are looking for loans, to go to the federal low-interest loans first before going out to the private loan market and taking loans there.
Well, and to either of you, I know that the situation has changed a lot in the last few years. There are fewer providers of private loans, and obviously with the economy the way it is, there's not all the same amount of loan money out there. How difficult has that gotten? And obviously it has to have changed what both of you are doing and how you're able to direct people.
I think two things. I think colleges and universities were having students have a harder time finding opportunities for private education loans. We were very fortunate at Siena that we didn't really have that circumstance. However, I will say New York State just this year has, starting in January, has a brand new loan program that provides an alternative to a private loan that you would get from a bank, and it's called the NYHELPs loan program. That will provide up to $10,000 to students to fund their educational expenses. So that's a new program here. So while the credit markets are contracting a little bit, New York State is still trying in many ways to put resources towards students achieving that higher education and recognizing that students sometimes may have to borrow a little more and trying to provide an opportunity for them to do that.
Right. And I think the state did step up, just to go off of what Mary just said, by offering the NYHELPs loan program, knowing that the availability of other private loans was not necessarily going to be there for families as it has been in past years, and also knowing that families may have used home equity loans to help pay for their students' education that they may not be able to use this year.
And I know we've talked about this in the past about what NYHELPs is, but if you can tell people a little bit about what it is and maybe how they can find out more about it.
Right, certainly. NYHELPs is a low-interest, state-sponsored loan that's available, again, for New York State residents attending college in New York State. Interest rates right now vary from 7.25% to 8.75% based on whether the borrower opts to pay in principal and interest payments immediately. And of course, if they do, they will be getting the lower of the rates versus if they fully defer, or they can also make interest-only payments. One of the nice features of the program is that students must take and successfully complete a financial literacy course so that they can learn more about debt management overall, and especially dealing with their education loans. One of the nice things about NYHELPs also is that you are required to complete the FAFSA and apply for and exhaust all other federal aid, state aid that you have available to you, because we recognize that is the cheaper way to educate your college, pay for your college expenses. And then if there's remaining need, then you can get the NYHELPs loan.
All right, we will talk about that more in a second. We're talking about what you or your college-bound student can do to make sure that they have the money to go to college here on Fox 23 in Focus. Stay with us.